lobby for a second. TSM and Complexity. One sounded more positive than the other.
Certainly did. Well, Complexity, they will be holding that southern side. NGNL are going to be their next target, by the way. But elsewhere, you can also see the Stallions are eyeing up board on the northern tip. The winner of that fight, or this fight that is going to happen, would essentially hold the northern tip, but they then are probably going to be shot by Liquid Alienware, who, by the way, still are holding a very commanding position. But as the zone closes now, 35 seconds to try and make your way in. This is where your Catalyst is really going to come into the equation, just to try and segregate yourself from the rest of the lobby so you can take a fight.
Now, Brulelli. Decent spray with that. Havoc has the turbo as well, so no wind-up time for him. Trying to push that team away, trying to force them into the carnage that's happening in front of your very eyes. And TSM are looking to take advantage of the damage that's done. They move in, they clean up some knocks, they clean up some more damage as NGNL Esports will be eliminated. Stallions, who we were just watching, they've gone down as well, as Reps now has to get back to pop that shield battery. And Sweet, through all of this craziness, he's still alive as well for LG.
Yeah, you mentioned LG, but it is just a one, of course, and TSM will be on the other side of that. Now TSM will hold the entire western side here and put themselves in one of the better spots, one of the better positions, because the entire eastern side is taken up by the remaining three teams now, excuse me, as Liquid Alienware go down.
And Reps is doing so much damage as well with that Knuckle Cluster. You saw him sticking one or two players. It was just ricochet damage, and he was just leveling up, and forcing all these teams to take damage as they fought as well. Complexity down to 2. And Arcstar that makes things a little bit more uncomfortable as well. And now they're burning. Now they're hurting. It's Kimchi who managed to get one shield cell off, but it's Reps who is being an absolute pest.
LG is a 1, Complexity is a 2. This is TSM's game in the bag. They surely would not throw it away from this position, but they still have to play it carefully. Sweet, though, maybe recognizing there is a weak player that he could potentially get KP and a second place, and he wants to push in, but TSM will see this door and they'll push as well.
It's a 1v1. TSM will win the game, but LG managed to secure second place thanks to the ramp play coming in from Sweet, but TSM.
Flat and Eternal all looking that way, and it is going to just be trying to run and trying to avoid the incoming bullets here.
And now play on the low ground. I actually like this. This will open up a lot of options just for a rotation, not taking too much attention, and that's all you want. You know you got to go through the same path 8 other teams have to go through to get to the promised land. You just don't want to be first out. You don't want to be what everyone's eyes turn to. This is where strong mobility characters like Valk Horizon give you that potential. Even a Pathfinder, it's weird, but we've seen it used today, and it's worked. Gives you an opportunity to get out of this skirmish, but not right now. Even with the Catalyst walls, there is only one direction to go for these teams, and it's forward. SKD Mark maybe say, well, we might as well take this fight, and my goodness, dropped. Oh, you didn't drop a second, my friend. You dropped bullets onto them right there, and you've got barely any health. The zone moving in, the knockdown shield blocking away, and maybe, just maybe, a huge play here from Dropped. And I think a med kit here, Dan. I think you hit the med kit. There's 2 players alive.
2 players alive, a Devo in hand, and a potential for Drop to do something, but only 3 squads remain. Furia are on the high ground watching all of this, and arguably should win this game from this position. As soon as they see anything in the kill feed, they're gonna get involved. Drops can help Furia win this game, but Flat still have a full 3 here, so SKD have to be careful. They go down. Now Furia, they make their move.
They make their move. They transition early enough to the God spot, and they walk down amongst the mere mortals to claim what looks like to be an easy victory.
Look at the kill feed. He's doing it again now as a solo with that Kraber. Monsoon is a human highlight reel.
You give him a Kraber, you give him a Sensor, it doesn't matter. Give him a Sniper, give him something that can hit heavy. 5 squads now remain, so Monsoon has been able to get into the top 5 by helping Board on that southeast side. Cloud9 may be going to be the next target for Board if they can survive, but I think it's only a solo there as well. Likelihood is we're looking at a TSM versus Skid fight here, and the winner of it could be in prime position to take this game.
Don't forget about Monsoon. I'm just saying, he's got a Kraber. If he didn't have the Kraber, I wouldn't be saying that. Board still have 1 alive as well, but TSM, this is the big fight for them. The Hole still has his ult available, and now he's going to throw it down. The Rolling Thunder should slow down this push, and also Reps is just going to be harassing with the Knuckle Cluster. as SKD try and move through. And this is so smart from TSM. They're just forcing them away. They don't really want to kill them immediately. They just want to force them away from the position that they're holding. However, the banger comes in from TSM, and it's going to be Reps on the fuse again, who is hitting the big nades.
Hitting the nades, and it forced them towards Cloud9, but Cloud9 now heading to center zone. But TSM have this north side. The worry is Monsoon. He is very close to TSM, but they don't know it at the moment. Of course, do have the Bloodhound, so the likelihood is they will spot Monsoon shortly. Doesn't matter. Monsoon goes down. No highlight reel for him in the final circle, but I'm sure there were some big shots here earlier. Cloud9 now lost one as well. Here comes TSM and Cloud9 to have a fight.
It's the solo coming in behind Cloud9, who might have just thrown their game, trying to pick up 1 KP, and that just creates an opening now for TSM. Board will be taken down. It is going to be MJ as that solo. Now it's going to be C9 versus TSM, but C9 are only down to 2. TSM looking for their second win out of 3 games here, as Verhost will close it out. TSM, 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3, and looking in fine form are TSM at just the right time.
A lot of red armors in this end zone in comparison to what we saw on World's Edge. A lot of blues, I would say, in comparison to the standard that you would expect to see as Eternal EC. Well, they're going to disconnect from this lobby because they've been taken out. NGNL from the high ground hitting some nice scout shots.
Now we're starting to get into the chaos, right? This is that Fury Road where you just don't have a lot of playing space if you have to leave your low ground. Right now, everyone's covered, but once the zone pulls in, there's going to be 4 teams that have to vie for like 1 spot. And so this 7 squad, Mayhem, Melee, is going to get real interesting. Funk, the first one or the last one to get up, the first one to go down, and that puts Sweet in a similar position. He's alive. He doesn't have 3 members there, but it's a 3-member situation in the top 10, which is what we asked for him in game 2, and now he's finally done it. It's going to prove valuable because they are 4 points away from second place, and they are about 15 points away from first. Can they win? They'll have to take it from TSM, though.
Well, TSM are going to be pretty content with what they're seeing in front of them, and that's some Dark Veils going down with time still left on the clock. So teams are rotating away from the position they find themselves in, which means they're probably going to run into each other. That's why you're seeing LG be eliminated. They will fall. The last 2 players will go down, and now TSM have to make their play. And my zap! If you're looking for firepower, well, there's a good example of it. A beautiful spray with Havoc, big damage, Oblivion eliminated in the meantime.
No contest at all. Nothing. Not a knuckle cluster, not a grenade. I mean, that was their biggest threat. It looked like TSM was playing against somebody who wasn't even firing back. That was huge from them, and now they put their lead to 55 points. 4 squads left. They've made it again into the situation. LG has gone down. It's Furia, NGNL, Empire Gaming, and TSM here in our final 4 with only 12 players left.
And now the climb up is massive here for TSM. Can they survive long enough? Can they get up without taking too much damage as the Veils will fall? It's time for us to enter the final act as TSM look to pick up yet another win here. Fury will be eliminated. Empire Gaming will be the final winners, though, as they clean up the final pieces in that end game. That's one of my favorite games of Swordpoint I've seen for quite some time. Up a little bit more of that damage, but they have to force their way through here, otherwise they're going to be trapped.
And most importantly, this means Furia are now catching TSM. They're only 1 point behind first place. If they get into the top 3, which they do, suddenly Furia are level with TSM at the top of the leaderboard, setting us up for an incredible match 6 here today of day 3 of Split 2 Pro League. But can Furia go 1 step further? Can they get a victory to call it yet another one on the board as a respawn beacon has been put down? Native Gaming, NGNL, and Furia are last 3 teams.
Rambo might have something to say about this endgame. He is being redeployed. And the long-haired hero, the man who loves an up-close endgame gunfight, is back in this game. R9, by the way, in the hands of Arcane. I know he's been away for a while, but did you know there's better guns right now when it comes to SMGs? I'm joking,
I'd like to hope that he's got a good clip for it. That's as long as you've got a good clip. Blue, purple I would have been all right with, but you know, the R9 in the right hands can still do a lot of damage. It's just the clip size. You just need to be ready to whip out your other weapon. But there's a bit of a standoff at the moment. Everyone reluctant to poke out. You can see Native Gaming, whichever side they go at, they're being targeted by a certain team. And this is actually a really fun final circle because the only things you've got to hide behind are kind of trees and rocks. And then there is a very central area where everyone is going to meet. And this is perfect for a 3 versus 3 versus 3. If there was 4 teams, it might be a bit messy. But now it becomes a game of bravery. Who kind of peaks first? Who has to force themselves out?
Fury making their move. Fury want to swing. Fury trying to creep up here and get that initial damage. The spray's going to come in. It's pretty good. Madness gets out of trouble as well. Vaxon tries to follow up. Fury get that first knock. Fury get the second as well. Native Gaming get eliminated. The shield swaps come in. But is it enough now to hold off the push coming in from NGNL? They're going to swing themselves. Native Gaming, they don't have anything to say about this endgame as NGNL move in to clean up the last pieces of Furia. Surely this is their game. NGNL will be your champions of game number 5.
Well, NGNL, who dropped at Jurassic, will win the game in Jurassic. And you can see Zap in the kill feed. He is doing more jobs, and he is getting TSM one step closer of maybe being able to pick up those points and close in on Furia. But Complexity still holding one of the better positions. But it's Zap and Verhulst as a duo, 2 points behind Furia, and a chance to win the entire day here.
Question is, what do they do? Where do they play? Because LG are going to be looking at them. They play for the smokes. Now, Verhulst does have the ability to get the health regen in the smokes as well, so those smokes are going to be even more useful for them. But they've got to hold off with just pure gun at the moment. Bullets and ammo is all they can use. They don't have any other color. One more smoke comes up at just the right time. No ultimate to use to buy them even more time. And I think the call has been made now for TSM to look for some KP. 5 squads remaining as SKD will go down as Verhulst will pick up a KP himself.
They are 1 point behind Furia now. They need another placement point or maybe a KP. They find the KP. They're tied with Furia as a duo, but they are still not quite there yet. 1 more point required. LG can certainly add to this if TSM can just about survive, but Sykes gets sent to Narnia. Vanity eliminated, and TSM take first place.
TSM take first place. It is a monumental effort from the duo in the endgame as Sykes, who was just knocked into the Shadow Realm for a few seconds, now is trying to relocate his crosshair onto the team up on that high ground. Him and Fog are going to have to do the work, and they might be able to get the reset here on Sweet as well.
We've seen LG do crazy things as a solo, and they might be able to get up to a full 3. As you mentioned, Sweet is getting rezzed, and LG back on their feet, and now with the opportunity, with the position they find themselves in to maybe win this game.
Skynade might be massive here. If it's perfect, it could knock Complexity back down with a bump. Complexity have to drop, though. The Rolling Thunder's going to come in. TSM eliminated as Complexity will get the win. That's what they wanted to close the day out. Complexity will be your champions of the final game.